Live coffee coochie conversation here on a Thursday just to change things up a little bit. Thursday at 3 o'clock my time, 4 o'clock where Joe is right now. And I am joined by Joe, who is the founder of a organization for veterans, helping veterans organization called Project Brotherhood Resolve. And there's a special event coming up here. It's going to start, I think you open up on the 19th of May, if I remember right, Joe, and then you go through the
Correct.
28th of May. So
Correct.
if you could just start, as we have people joining us now, I've filled about a half a minute or a minute, but if you could tell us about
Okay.
yourself and your background, we'll start there.
Okay. Yeah. So my name is Joe Jmail. I'm a retired Master Sergeant with the Illinois National Guard. I just retired back in 2021. I did a few combat tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. Right about 2016, I got a text message it was a sad text message. Come to find out, a soldier that I had deployed with had committed suicide. And it kind of prompted me at that time to go ahead and do something to give back to the veteran community. So, um, looking at a few different options of what I could do and whatnot, I figured homeless housing was kind of a thing that was lacking. There were a lot of organizations that were dealing with suicide one way or another. So I started Project Brotherhood Resolve in 2016. We've been operational for the last roughly 8 years. What our purpose right now is we do homelessness and suicide mitigation through financial intervention. So what
This
we
is
do is
where
we
our
pay bills for
our
veterans.
yay background. Hold on, Joe,
Okay.
because that deserves
Okay.
a big yay. Okay, now keep going,
Awesome.
please.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, well, we do financial intervention and we help them with bills, staying housed, also curbing suicide because it comes down to it. If somebody is not losing hope, and that's usually the end is when somebody gives up all hope and sees no hope in their future of staying alive. That's when they decide that it's time to go. Um, so we're one step in there of helping them know that there are people out here thinking about them. There are people out here that are willing to help them out one way or the other. We are part of a Mid Michigan Veterans Coalition. There's about 53 different groups up around my area. I'm in Lapeer, Michigan. So 53 different groups going all the way up to Clio, Michigan, going almost to Schwartz Creek, obviously down Lapeer, Metamora, a little bit of Oxford. And these are veteran nonprofit organizations. The majority of them are that deal with either housing, finances, or mitigation one way or another. So if we are unable to help a veteran, we'll find an organization that can. We'll continue to do that until that veteran gets the help they need. And what makes us really good is that we work pretty good together. So swinging back over to Project Brotherhood Resolve, in the last 8 years, I don't have the exact numbers on me right now, but I was crunching them early on for our audit. We've helped about 60 veterans with over $60,000 worth of bills. That's anywhere from rent and mortgage to car payments to insurance payments. We even done child support payments to make sure that soldier does not end up in jail and away from his current family. We've done. We just recently paid a continuing education for a veteran that needs to maintain his medical certification so he can get back into the medical field. We paid a collections about a month ago, to make sure that that veteran qualifies for a better VA HUD voucher so he can get into housing from his current situation. So we do different things. Basically, we make sure that there's a need, and that need is going to benefit the veteran, and it's going to put them in a better situation, and that's what we do right now. Um, our fundraising efforts are pretty much events that we do and donations that we get. Our team is all volunteers. All our board members are volunteers. I put a lot of my own time into this. In certain instances, my own money. Especially in the beginning. Right now, we're growing to where the donations are coming in and everything, so that's kind of helping out. So all of our events, one way or another, are geared towards making sure veterans belong and raising awareness for suicide and homelessness. So I know you threw out the veteran gallery show we got coming up here in May. Um, so I want to backtrack real quick off of that and build into that real quick. So in last October, I was down in Ann Arbor at an event for Foundation 14, another veteran organization out here. Just real quick on them, they specialize in um, rebuild, not necessarily rebuilding, but customizing motorcycles for disabled veterans so they can start riding again.
And
So they
what is
put
the
the
name of
event
it again? The organization?
Foundation for Foundation 14 is the name of the organization.
Foundation
Um,
14. Okay.
yep, Foundation 14. Um, so they hooked up with On a Hill Production, a Castle on a Hill production, and created a documentary on veteran suicide called Saving 22. I went and I saw that. It was the very first event that we did this year for Project Brotherhood Resolve. So after I saw it, I brought it back into Lapeer. We had about 65 people that came and saw the documentary. It's very impactful. It's very powerful. That I decided to bring it back again down the St. Clair shores. So that's where the tie-in comes in. So Veterans Gallery show. It's focused on veteran artists. Some of those veterans were artists before the military, some of them after. Most of them use art as a way to deal with therapy. Um, so when you tell people it's an art show, it's automatic that, oh, it's just paintings on the wall. So the majority of it is paintings on the wall, but we do have one organization out of Clio, Michigan called Hope Floats. They're also working the veteran homelessness angle. What they do is they have a mill and they have a property with a lot of trees. So they cut down the trees, they build benches, they build bars, they build tables, and they do some custom woodworking as well, as well as CNC work and whatnot on wood. So they're going to be down there displaying their art. We got anywhere from photography to charcoal art to oil paintings.
And Joe,
We
Joe, some of that art, like that photography art, that is photography that's taken when that veteran, that artist was in the zone, and some of that, isn't that correct?
so so we have a different artist this year. So Clay Weiss couldn't join us. Clay Weiss is a Navy photographer that was getting deployed with the Special Forces community. So a lot of his live action shots were really outstanding. Unfortunately, he won't be joining us this year. We have another veteran, Tom Sherry. He's more of a local photographer. So it's a lot more shots of around Detroit and the harbor and the freighters coming through and whatnot. So,
Oh, that's
but we
awesome.
still do have access to Clay. So if anybody's interested in seeing his art, we could probably get you some pictures or whatnot. So we can get them displayed. Also, the year that we had you come up and do your hypnosis comedy, we had Jay Elias that was doing foundry work. Jay has grown actually. He'll be traveling out of the country doing foundry work. I don't remember where's he traveling to during that particular month, but his organization, Evolution Art Studio, has really picked up as well, and he hasn't had time to do a lot of local events. He's been traveling the country, doing foundry work with other foundry members everywhere. So that's pretty exciting to know that those artists are getting up there and they're getting their name out there and they're getting fame.
Yes.
Um, I'm
Yes.
not taking any credit for them starting with us or not because they were artists before. I'm just saying that it's good to see that veteran artists are getting up there and doing great things outside of just the local community.
Well, you
So
didn't give
yeah,
them the talent, but they had the talent. You just helped provide that venue, that platform for people to
right.
see this awesome work. And you have artists that have been consigned by cities, right? Is Jay one of them?
Yes.
That
So yeah, Jay Elias poured a manhole for the city of Detroit. Um, I had I'm trying to remember who it was. There was an artist that was um commissioned to do a painting for one of the local uh artwork over there and whatnot. And the cool thing about it is that we're not just displaying art, we're also selling art, so it benefits two veterans at different times. Obviously, since we're putting on the show, we're doing a 10% cut from the sale of art. So 90% goes back to the artist. We get 10% that goes to help veterans as well. And then throughout the show, instead of it just being an art show, we're bringing in different events. So the opener on the 19th, we're showing the Saving 22 documentary again. Um, we're trying to focus our crowd, our audience, on people that deal with veteran suicide one way or another, whether it's doctors, psychologists, therapists, anybody like that. But everybody's welcome. So everybody's welcome to all our events. Just because it's a veterans gallery doesn't mean it's centered on military or anything like
all
that.
right.
Anybody's welcome to come into any of our events.
So as we talk about that event, let's talk about the venue and your sponsors for this event that have opened up this beautiful place for
Yes,
you to do this.
yes. So Trader Todd's Marina, was it 24030 Jefferson? They
St.
opened
Clair
up our
Shores.
doors 3 years ago. They in case I know you're down in Illinois, so if anybody's heard of Trader Todd's karaoke bar over in Wrigleyville, they are affiliated. They're the same owners. I used to work for them back in Chicago when I lived down there about a decade ago. And the way Veteran Gallery Show came about is during the pandemic, I was helping one of our local organizations distribute food to veterans. Jay Elias was one of the veterans all the way down in Detroit. Nobody was able to. I happened to be able to. So I took the food down there to Jay and his family. We started talking about what he does and what I do. And through a couple of weeks later, we're sitting down talking, me and Jay, and he brings up this idea of, hey, Joe, why don't we bring in a bunch of veteran artists together and just do an art show? And at the same time, Virginia and Todd had purchased the marina on the in the nautical mile, and I know that Virginia is an avid artist. So I told Jay, give me a minute. I drove up to the marina. I called Virginia, made sure she was there. We sat down. I pitched her the idea. She loved it. And for the last 3 years, that's been the opening event for the anchor building, which is the first building of the marina on Jefferson. So the marina itself has about 3 or 4 different buildings. So as you come in from Jefferson Road, it's the very first building in the marina, and it's a 6,000 square foot warehouse. It's a wonderful place to do a lot of different shows. They've had bridal shows, they've had weddings there, they've had many other events, and kind of the gallery was the kicker to kind of get things started. So that's what we like, is the fact that we're the first ones to get in there for the last couple of years and kind of set the pace for the rest of the year. So people come in, they see the venue. It doesn't look like much from the outside because you're driving next to a huge warehouse. Right now, it has about 30 boats in it. They use it for boat storage in the winter. So, like I said, a lot of people don't think nothing about it until they go in and they walk into the gallery and they actually see the space they have. They do have a bar in there. There is office space as well. So really, the venue could be used for a lot of different events, and that's why we take advantage of it. So we do serve alcohol on the weekends. We're getting our wine
They're
from
sunny.
Sage Creek Winery. Um, Sage Creek Winery is a winery in Michigan, north on the east side, that is veteran owned. So we want to make sure we try to do as much business with veterans as possible, and bring in that bring in that veteran connection in everything that we do in the gallery. So like I mentioned, the opener, we're doing a documentary, Saving 22. We are selling tickets for that one. That's $25. You could buy it at the door, or you could get it through our Facebook events, through Facebook on our events page. The very next day, we're having a comedy show, so it's kind of changing the pace from doing a suicide documentary to a little bit of laughter. That again, all the comedians are local Michigan veteran comedians. We've
Yay.
had some of them last year. We got most of them coming back this year. And what's special about these comedians is they've all been in combat. And one of them actually, she lost both of her legs in combat. And she took advantage of that situation. And instead of falling into depression and staying there, she chose to use the events that happened to her and her current situation and flip it into a comedy skit. So it's something that definitely, come out, listen to the comedians. They're definitely funny. Um, that's why we keep bringing them back. If they weren't funny, we won't bring them back.
That's
But
right.
so we got the Saving 22 documentary, we got the comedy show, and then we're closed on Sunday. Give everybody kind of a break. We're open during the week on regular hours for the
Which
marina, which is
that's the
10 to
week
5.
of Memorial Week, right?
The
The
week
week
of, yeah,
before
Memorial
Memorial.
Day. Yep, correct. We're open that week, 10 to 5. So anybody could walk in and check out the art. And if they want to purchase any, they're welcome to. And then on that Friday, the 26th at 6 o'clock, we're planning a military formal. Again, these events are open to everybody. Anybody can attend. They don't have to be in the military.
So I just
The
want to
military formal.
stop
Go
there.
ahead.
Yep, for the Sonny, just so you know, Sonny, the producer here, is in the Illinois National Guard right now. Iowa. I'm
Okay.
sorry, wrong side of
Who
the
does?
river. Sorry, wrong side of the river. I forget where I am sometimes. It's like thinking I'm in Canada when I'm in Michigan.
Oh,
So he's in the Iowa National Guard. So he's cheering
I'm
for
sorry. Not just kidding.
he's cheering for that. he gets it. But for all of those that like a man in uniform, or even appreciate a woman in those dress blues in their dress uniform, the formal night is the night to go. It is. Yep.
Yes, very good experience. Everybody's out there. We're reaching out to the Macomb County Young Marines again to do our color guard. I think we did it the first year that you were there as well. We did the ceremony to fold the flag in honor of those that we lost to suicide. Actually, that first year that you were there, the flag that we folded was actually the flag of the father of a friend of mine.
Yes, I
She
remember.
lives in Chicago.
Yes.
Right. So her father passed away during COVID, uh, from health issues, and they did not get a proper burial because of COVID protocols. Everybody was just given a flag and have a good day. So I asked her if I could have the flag. I wasn't telling her that I was doing a case or anything like that. So we had the Young Marines fold it. I had built a case for that flag. She actually made it up there Sunday, and I wish she had been there on Saturday because it was very touching the way she received the case, and on top of that, one of her siblings is deaf, so she was on the phone, using sign language, explaining to her
Wow.
sibling uh, the story, I guess, behind the case, and I gave her the videos of the young Marines folding the flag and everything, and it was very touching. So last year we did our flag. We couldn't find anybody that was in that same situation where they didn't get a proper burial or anything like that. So, in honor to keep a tradition going of recognizing those who have fallen, we ended up getting a burial size flag, and we had a case for it, and we did the young Marines folded it, put it in the case, and we did a small presentation with the 22 seconds of silence in honor of the 22 veteran average that commits suicide a day. Um, so yeah, it was very touching, very good to come out. We invite all the local militaries, and service members to come out to that event. We get a pretty decent turnout for that. We're still building up the event, so it's still getting up there. And like I said, it's open to anybody. So if people want to show up and just watch what happens and sit there and participate, they're more than welcome to.
Well, the
Saturday, go ahead.
well, I was going to say you, and then but you have the big parade, and I've been to my fair share of parades. Not my first rodeo, and it is one of the
Right,
best parades I've seen in a long time. And it was post COVID that this was an awesome
right,
parade. And Trader Todd's just happens to be on that parade route, doesn't it?
right. Yeah. So let me jump back to Saturday, and I'll come back to Sunday. So Saturday, real quick, we're not doing anything fancy. We're doing sip and paint for the adults
Mm,
and apple juice and paint for the kids and anybody who doesn't drink. So the formal on Friday is by donation. There's no cover charge. The sip and paint is $25. The apple juice and paint is $10. You pay it, you get a free glass of wine or apple juice. Obviously, you get to sit there and paint. Denny, one of our Army artists, she'll be out there demonstrating, doing stuff. And then for the kids, instead of just a painting, there's also other activities that they could do that involve art. Um, you know, um, I can't explain it right now because like it's jamming up in my head. But so there's different activities for the kids to do. It's an all day event. We'll be at it till 10 o'clock, and then yes,
that's awesome.
Sunday is the St. Clair Shores Memorial Day Parade. Um, so they usually switch between Jefferson and Mack Avenue. Last year it was at Mack, so we decided to close down on Sunday. This year it's on Jefferson again. We are going to be participating in the parade and walking down with our banners, trying to get the crowd in there because Sunday is also our closeout event. We're not doing any formal closeout event. You don't have to come in dressed up in a black tie or anything. Just show up as is and help us close out. We're probably going to have a DJ, some music going on in the background, and just kind of a chill time. People coming in together, buying art, and closing down the event in a good note. Um, so that's what we're doing for the gallery show. This is the third year again. We're going to see how it goes and make a decision if we're going to move forward with it again next year or not.
Well, Joe,
Just because last year,
can we
go
give
ahead.
a shout out to some of the comedians that are going to be performing, especially that female comedian, please?
Yes. So Steve Smargan, he's our headliner. Dan Vila, so Steve Smargan, Marine veteran. Dan Vila, he's a Marine veteran as well. He's going to be emceeing. Dan also belongs to a nonprofit called Welcome Home Veterans out in Schwarzkopf. Starts with a B. It's right next to Swartz Creek, Michigan.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm running out of wind here, but they actually have an elementary school and they're turning it into homeless housing. It's going to be
Really?
able to sustain 30 veterans.
That's awesome.
And then, yeah, like I said, we have a good coalition network up here and we're always working together. So Marissa Strock, aka Glump UT. So if you look her up on Facebook, Marissa Strock, or you type in Glump UT, GLUMPUTEE or something like that. Yeah,
Okay.
she's on my Facebook page, so
Uh,
you could look her up on my friends list.
I want to,
But
yes.
yeah, she's awesome as well. Um, Shout out to Trader Todd's for again opening their doors and helping us out with this event. They donate the space. Otherwise, it would have been our biggest expense of hall rental because 6,000 square feet for a week and a half isn't really cheap. So
Well,
I really appreciate Todd and Virginia doing that and helping us out with
they
that.
they are awesome
And then,
people.
oh
Um,
yeah,
I
very great people, very veteran oriented,
I want to get
very
in
supportive.
before we run out of time, Joe. Some more about the art and the artists because you mentioned and you pretty much glossed over it in telling a story that you do work as well and that you do work with wood. And so that's just one medium, I guess is the word that of
Right.
art. You have all sorts of different formats and artists. So if you can tell us about some of the different formats, shout out some of the artist names. That would.
Right. So I'll start off with our returning artist for the third year in a row, Army veteran Denise Medivier. She does oil paintings. She's kind of a little bit abstract, a little bit of different. Doesn't necessarily have one style of art. She covers a lot of different. Uh, she doesn't do scenery, but she does a lot of different things with her style of art. The best thing I've seen with her was she brought an easel with Lazy Susie on it, I guess you could call it. Put up a canvas, just started spinning it and doing her thing, and it came out to be a wonderful piece of art. Um, Next one is Army veteran James Rodriguez. James does a lot of landscape painting. A lot of it's around Detroit. So, if you're familiar with Detroit, the Ford Mansion or some of the parks or whatnot, you could see that in his art. He does also do a few different disciplines as far as what he draws, but he's been focused on a lot of uh, geographical location type art. Um, so those are our two veterans that have been with us for 3 years. We have returning from last year Army veteran Paul Deary. He is with Welcome Home Warriors, which is a group of navigators around the state of Michigan that help veterans combat suicide. He does charcoal artwork, so all his art is different types of drawings and charcoal on canvas. Um, Tom Sherry, he's a Vietnam vet era veteran, Army as well. I know we have a lot of Army. Um, he does,
I'm
like I
gonna
said, the
smile when he says
photography.
it.
Uh,
I'll smirk.
Again, yeah, a lot of his photography is local to Detroit. The freighters coming up the river through the lake and stuff like that. Vehicles, car shows and stuff like that. So very good photographs of a lot of interesting things. Hope Floats out of Clio, Michigan. Like I said, they do these wonderful epoxy bar top tables, really heavy duty. They can engrave it. They can make it look like a river running through it. They can. They sold one last year that they actually had shell casings and the branch insignias on there. And
Well, that's
like
cool.
I said, they do different types of woodworking. Um, and engraving on wood using CNCs or whatnot, doing live edge tables, doing benches, and they take that money and they put it back into their program to build their floating homes um, on the lake that they have up there. We're still looking to see if Coast Guard veteran Floyd Harris can join us. He's an oil painter as well. He focuses his art around the African American community, so it's really wonderful to see a diverse action with that. One of the artists that we don't have him again this year, but I do want to promote him because he was a very integral part of the very first show we did. Lawrence Gary, he does. Um, I'm trying to properly say, not necessarily epoxy, but he does a lot of Africa and African American related art. But the way he does it, and it's just amazing to see how his art has grown as well, and it's been viewed all over the place, and his art's getting up there in price, and he's becoming a collected artist as well.
I think I
And
remember
then
him. He
yeah,
had some
he had the
beautiful
very
oil
first spot.
paintings. Yep,
Right, correct.
really
Yeah,
jazzy
very
looking
very wonderful
stuff.
artist. Yes, his family's all in art oriented, so that's what I liked about that. And then
We're getting our
also,
time
obviously, I
warning.
talked about Jay Elias doing foundry work. There's Andrew Grunham who works with Jay Elias, but he kind of is veering off into doing robot fighting right now too. So he's kind of busy with that, growing that in the state of Michigan. So he sets up over at Gibraltar, brings in a couple of teams of robots, and they sit there and they fight each other and do all the
Sounds
cool
very
stuff.
Michigan.
Uh, oh yeah, we do have a bunch of other artists that we've been reaching out to. There's a Paul Zonka, Army veteran, also does wall paintings. He's the first year he'll be joining us this year. And there's two other wall art veterans that we're in contact with. Hopefully they'll commit. And then there's a veteran organization between Michigan and Ohio that does woodworking, and we're trying to get them to commit as well. So, like I said, different types of art.
So, but
You're going to see
I,
different styles.
I'm hearing that there's still some opportunities for artists to come in and join you. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we have plenty of opportunity for artists to join us. Like I said, we got 6,000 square feet. Most of the main walls have been obviously called for, but we can always create more space and create more
Yeah.
for art
Yeah, you've got the upstairs space too, that loft space.
out
Give,
there, so it's harder to get sponsors. This year, Real Estate for a Cause out of Grand Blanc, Michigan, sponsored at a gold level, which is $1,000. So that's what we're running off of right now. But obviously, expenses are a lot more than 1,000 to run this event.
all right. So,
So
and
um,
you're wearing that real estate for a
I'm
cause
wearing it. Yes. So
since you
actually, I
left
am
the
an agent for Real
military.
Estate for a Cause. Yep. So if they want to buy, sell, what I do personally on the real estate side as well is every time I make a transaction, whether it's a buy or a sell, I donate 10% of my commission check to Project Brotherhood Resolve. Last year ended up being about $3,100. This year, right now, I'm about $600 deep into it. Slow year for me for a start, but things are starting to turn around on that end. But yeah, definitely need
So,
sponsors to come help us out.
so I'm going to give a shout
Make sure,
out for Joe, for anybody in the Grand Blanc, Lapeer, Metamora, Fenton, Davison, Clarkston. How
I,
far are you going to go,
I've
Joe?
I've gone as far as Vassar. I've sold and bought down in St. Clair Shores and East Point. I'm working on Farmington Hills right now.
Okay, and
So
I can
honestly,
vouch
anything
for
with about an hour and a half, yeah.
integrity, honesty,
Thank you.
and you support a nonprofit that happens to be close to your heart, a nonprofit that you started as you do this. And so continuously giving
Yes,
back. So many reasons to love you, Joe. Hey, we're going to get cut off here in a few
thank you.
minutes. And before that happens,
Okay.
I want to real quick fill in that there are other opportunities, and not just in Michigan. If you can talk a little bit about the Ruck, like twice a year, I think even have multiple locations. If people are just in the mood to do a 22-mile Ruck for charity.
Right. So our Rock March was the very first event that we started when I started PBR. So it's a 23 and a quarter mile march. We start at the Lake Orion Veterans Memorial off of M24. We walk up to the Lapeer VFW on M24. And obviously, 22 miles um, for the 22 average suicides a day, and then the 1 mile for staying alive and keeping our heads up above water. Um, so we've been doing that for 8 years. We get a pretty good turnout. We do walk on the main highway,
Yes, you do.
M24. Yep. Which it kind of turns a lot of people away from participating, which is fine. But if we're not in the face of the public and engaging the public, then we're really not making the noise we need to make. And we get a lot of people that pull over and ask us what we do. We see a lot of engagements on Facebook, swap pages and local townships and all that, people asking what's going on. um, and now that we've been going back and asking for sponsorships at local places for that event, we've been finding out that a lot of people have been paying attention and wondering what's going on, and that's one way we do get engaged in helping each other. And actually, off of that ruck, I was able to help about two or three different veterans one way or another, whether it was me personally doing something directly with them or through Project Brotherhood Resolve, or even through Real Estate for a Cause. So it's been very productive. It's been very touching. We've had anywhere from a 16-year-old all the way up to a 76-year-old that finished the whole 23 and a half or 23 and a quarter mile ruck. You don't necessarily have to walk the whole thing. We got chase vehicles that go up and down the road picking up people, whether they are done walking or they just set a goal to walk a certain number of miles. And then when COVID hit, We did a virtual ruck as well that year, and we kept on doing it. The benefit of the virtual ruck is if you don't want to walk all the 23 miles in the same day, you could start with the virtual ruck. The ruck's on the 16th of September. The virtual starts the Sunday before. So you have a whole week to walk the 23 and a half miles. You can do it anywhere you want. We've had people that would, do half. So you're looking at about 11, 12 miles during the week and come up either do the first 11 or finish the last 11 with the rest of the crowd that's doing it that day. And that way it gives the opportunity for everybody to participate, because not everybody is available on a certain day to do something. So now
Well,
you got a whole week to sit here and participate and put your effort into it.
Joe,
And all the money.
I was there on one of those rucks and at a water station
Yes.
and moved to different places. And the brotherhood, you guys just amplify that. That's probably not even the right word that I'm using, but exemplify that. You know, but when I tell the story afterwards is the next day when you guys had these huge blisters on your feet and you all could barely walk, but you all
Oh
still
yeah.
glad you did it. I mean, you were a mess, not a hot mess. You were all just a mess. And you
Yeah. I
too,
mean,
you too.
y-
Your feet were.
yeah. You have to keep pushing, and it's an example of life. I mean, to sit here and walk 23 and a half miles in one day. Some did have rucksacks, some didn't, and that's okay. But to sit here and finish it in one day, and just to prove to yourself that even at my lowest moment, I could still push on and make it to the next minute, to the next mile, to the finish line. That kind of proves to you and to other people that I'm not alone in this fight, and I could get to the end result without having to come out short.
Well,
And
and
like I said, it's very motivational, especially when you see the number of people and the type of people that finish it. I mean, to sit here and see a 16-year-old, yes, they're in the best shape of their life, but how many 16-year-olds are actually out there, busting their ass on
well,
23
especially
miles, even a 76-year-old.
when you pass like three McDonald's and Starbucks in the process of that ruck,
Yes,
and they still keep going.
yes.
But two,
Oh yeah.
and I'm you're not going to shout yourself out, so I'm going to, and I hope this keeps going. You're in the beginning of that ruck, encouraging people, and you're at the very end of that ruck, still encouraging
Yeah.
people. So it doesn't matter how long it takes them to finish. You're at the beginning, and you're at the end. And I have so much
Oh yeah.
respect for you if you don't know that. Like big, big,
Thank you.
big amounts of respect.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And
Thank you.
so your ruck, do you do that twice a year?
No, we do that once a year. We may look into doing it twice a year. Maybe at a different location, maybe at a different route. Just to get a little bit more engagement in the people. Because, like I said, the best thing to do in regards to veteran homelessness and suicide is to engage the communities. Um, you see a lot of people that come out and talk about stuff like that on Veterans Day, Memorial Day, and Armed Forces Day. And then the other 362 days a year, nobody gives a shit, or that's what it feels like. I hope that was an okay word on
It
there,
was.
but
It was.
um,
We're not going to get kicked off Facebook or
not
YouTube. But before I do lose you, please tell people how they can find you on social media or any other platforms. All
okay.
right,
So
hurry
we're on
up.
Facebook, Project Brotherhood Resolve, and then people can have my number 773-456-4716, and our website, which is not very well made.
Oh, you did. But was just going to say that website wasn't also well maintained. So I think that we've got the important contacts out uh, through Trader Todd's or through you could reach Joe that way. The Project Brotherhood Resolve is on social media. It's definitely on the Facebook platform, and you can reach him that way. Please like and follow the page. And please like and follow Done Right TV. I heard recently that they had some e-bikes. I believe there might have been a sale. I don't know if that's still on yet. but there are some e-bikes in the building that are fully assembled, and it is racing season. I'm going to be at the racetrack tomorrow, Sonny. You going down there?
Nope.
It's going to get cold.
I think it's getting canceled.
Oh, it could.
Might get canceled.
It could. I'm optimistic, though, that I'll be there about 4:30 tomorrow.
Post that they're canceling.
Really? Okay. I haven't had time to look. Well, with the rain today and tonight and last night, that very well could be. They couldn't get the track ready for that. So
Another thing, while he was talking about veterans being honored at his event, there is a guy that's being buried today.
Yes, at 2 o'clock on Arsenal Island. Leo is there.
Unaccompanied.
And
Families unaccompanied.
I have spoke at those. Leo found out I spoke, and now he spokes because he speaks. He spokes. Because I'm a brat. I wasn't in the military. And he didn't show up once, and I wasn't going to let that veteran go without anybody saying something. So I stepped in. So now it's official. And so Leo actually posted what his words were going to be today for that man that was unaccompanied. I'm trying to remember his name. But that was also at 2 o'clock, and there was a big storm coming in. So I'm assuming we're not live.
We're still alive, which is funny.
Really? Ha ha. So I want to thank Done Right TV. And if, again, for your security needs, hit up Done Right here on West Locust in Davenport. And yes, Leo was there. I should have been there at 2 o'clock, and with that black in the sky, like I told you, I headed out, and then I turned around and I went back. It's like I'm not going to get stuck out there, especially since they lost a piece of the old 74 bridge on River Drive here yesterday or the day before, and I'm still not sure if it affected the bridge or if they've got, because they closed the Arsenal Bridge. So,
The guy name was Craig D. Yoder.
Yoder, that's right. He was a Yoder. Born in 1959, I remember that. And yes, thank you, Mr. Private Yoder, correct? Private? Private First Class Yoder. Marine, and I did hear that there would be a fair share of Marines. They're showing their respect today for Private First Class Craig Yoder. Respect. Thank you for your service, sir. Rest easy in the company of some really badass people out there on Arsenal Island. So with that, on that note, we're going to close it out. Hopefully see you next week, Wednesday, Hump Day at noon. Be good to yourself. Peace.
We're not going noon no more. It's going to be 3 p.m.
3 p.m. on Wednesdays. We're doing 3 p.m. on Wednesdays. No more nooners. You have to do them in the privacy of your own home. We'll be here at 3 o'clock. All right, you guys, have a great one. Peace, love. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Project Brotherhood Resolve, for everything.